Welcome to the BB&J Show, the first ever, the beginning, the genesis, manga episode 0, if you will. I don't know if mangas actually have an episode 0. I'm not really that versed in manga. That's BB's side. But this is our genesis. This is our origin story. This is the first episode of the BB&J Show. I am Jay. That's BB. Say hello to the adoring fans, the masses, the people yearning to hear your words.
Hello.
Very well said. Thank you for your long, eloquent speech. But yes, I'm Jay. That's BB. This is the BB&J Show. It is our first ever episode. We're really excited to bring this to you. It's basically our idea. We talked about it. You know, we talked about what we'd like to do, and it's just essentially going to be just us having a conversation that, quite frankly, we've had before on Discord calls and things of that nature. We're talking about the things that are important to us, whether that's gaming, pop culture, movies, sometimes a little bit of music, sometimes a little bit of sports even, something that's burning on our tongues and minds we will bring to you in a format of us having a conversation. And with that being said, I turn the floor over to BB because I've been mostly talking this whole time. So BB, tell us your thoughts as we embark on the maiden voyage of the BB&J Show.
Oh no, this is gonna be, I think, a great experience for not only us, because I think just us together. It's a whole different vibe, man.
It certainly
It's a whole
is.
different vibe. So I'm excited. I'm really excited, honestly. So I can't wait to see what we got in store today. Oh, and there goes your J mug.
That is the.
I'm gonna need one too then.
Yeah. You're gonna need a BB mug. I totally did not get pre-planned merch. No. Nay. That was totally accidental, I promise.
Oh my gosh.
But yes, I am really excited because for those who don't know, BBansky is a Twitch streamer, as am I, and we co-broadcast the Halo tournaments that we run in our community. And we just have a really good chemistry. We just have a really good vibe. I love when I'm on his stream, and I love when he joins me on my stream. And it's just we have a really good chemistry together. So we're really excited to bring this to you and sort of have it recorded for evidence purposes. You know.
Exactly. See how everything turns out. We're all like, the thing is, like, you never know what to expect when I never know what to expect when I hang out with you. So we'll see. I'll try to not break character here.
Hang on to your butts. It's going to be a wild ride.
Oh my god.
I am very, very excited to see. I will go back and see how many times I'm able to break you per episode, and we'll have a counter running at some point, I'm sure. And if you're interested in what I mean by breaking, go back and watch the Halo tournament, especially the second one when we were on the same broadcast. And
yeah.
some of the things that I said that just threw BB for a loop.
Go back and watch any stream that Jay is in with me, because gosh, I can't. I try so hard. I tried right now. Like, I was like, okay, you're gonna go in here and you're just gonna, go with the flow. Just stay chill, stay under the radar. And I don't know, man. I just can't. I can't.
It's the BB&J Show. There is no under the radar. So. Yeah. Without further ado, I hope you all have made it this far, and if you have, you're a trooper. I applaud you Let's applaud you for sticking this long. So, one of the things that BB and I were talking about was discussing the relevant topic in gaming. And BB, one of the things that broke today, literally today as we're recording, so recording this a day prior to it being released, it happened today that Rockstar officially announced, or confirmed, I should say. They didn't announce it, they confirmed.
Yeah, they confirmed it.
It was confirmed. It wasn't an announcement, it was a confirmation that GTA 6, or, as to put it accurately, the next GTA, is in active development. I'm going to read the quote that we have here from them. I got this off the Forbes article. There's many articles out there talking about it, and this is from the Forbes article. It says, and I quote, "With the unprecedented longevity of Grand Theft Auto 5, we know many of you have been asking us about a new entry in the Grand Theft Auto series. With every new project we embark on, our goal is always to significantly move beyond what we have previously delivered. and we are pleased to confirm that active development for the next entry in the Grand Theft Auto series is well underway. We look forward to sharing more as soon as we are ready, so please stay tuned to the Rockstar Newswire for official details. And that's the official quote from Rockstar on Grand Theft Auto, the next entry in Grand Theft Auto. Now, there's two things that I'd like to get into here. One, you and I have been playing Grand Theft Auto 5 online a lot, and now we've sort of moved on to Red Dead Online, but so we are excited, and we talk about plenty of the possibilities for the next sort of entry into the Grand Theft Auto series. But I'm kind of weary because they didn't say the next mainline game in Grand Theft Auto. They were very careful with their words. They sort of said the next entry into the series. So with the scuffed release of the definitive edition that just came out, it just disappointed me. Just sort of, what do you think? How do you feel reading when you hear that quote? Like when you read it and you heard about it, like my initial excitement was, Grand Theft Auto 6. But then as I read it and parsed it through, I kind of felt like maybe not. We might get something completely different, a Grand Theft Auto Battle Royale game or something.
Oh gosh, that's the last thing that Grand Theft Auto needs, right? At this point. But no, you're completely right, dude. Because the thing is, at first, like you said, when you showed me that news that dropped, and I was like, wait a minute, like hold up, GTA 6. Then you start reading, it's like, no, it's the next GTA in the series, right? But they're not really being clear. They're just trying to like settle everyone down, like, hey, we are working on it. It's in active development. But you're right, like, with the release of the other game, it kind of, like the definitive edition, it does worry you, right? Because you're just kind of like, well, what are they necessarily, like, what are they working on, right? I mean, I have hope, right? I do have hope. That's what we can. Well, yeah, exactly. I have hope for Perico Heist number 2, right? But we don't know pretty much anything. We don't know if it's gonna be an online platform, right? Like a online division, like in GTA Online, right? Yeah. Because GTA Online has had so much support over the years from Rockstar that you kind of think, well, is this kind of like its own game at this point? Because remember, they're getting ready to like release it again, I think, on PS5. Yeah. So it's kind of like getting the whole, like, the graphics improvements and everything. So it makes you wonder, like, well, is this just going to be like a single player thing, or is this going to be like, that's the point. It's like we don't know what it is, so you just have so many options to wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I tell you, when I read that, I'm optimistic. I think GTA 6. Like I just my bet.
I think everyone did. Everyone was like, "Oh, GTA 6 is in active development." Come on.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, even reading through it and everything, that's my bet. I'm going to say right now, as it came out today, February. This is posted on the 5th. You put me down. I'm thinking 6. That's what they're talking about. They just don't want to say it. I think they don't want to say it because they don't want to build up expectations. Because we're going to talk about sort of gaming culture writ large, so it's later on in the show. But I think they're not dumb. I think they see what's going on in the landscape. They see what happens to overhyped games, overpromised games. Yeah. So they don't want to overhype, and they also don't want to discourage anybody, I think. This is a subtle thing. They don't want to discourage anybody from sort of continuing spending in GTA 5.
Oh, of course. Of course, yeah. Because it's, it's like, well, to not, see anyone leave GTA Online right now because they just dropped an update not too long ago, right? So they're actively trying to update that game. Yeah. So at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, how do we say something about the next game without it affecting our players? Right?
Exactly.
So they kind of went the safe route. It's saying, well, let's just say that GTA, is being it's in development, but let's not necessarily label it yet, right?
Right. And
I mean, that's the whole point of like trying to keep people where they're at, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I also think it's also a case of sort of perhaps Grand Theft Auto 6 has a different name. It's not named 6. So they want to keep that under wrap. It might be like Grand Theft Auto and they come up with some other city, right? Like they're going to introduce a new city, or it may be Vice City being revisited, and it's going to be Grand Theft Auto Vice City, or, you know, Grand Theft Auto Vice City Nights or something. And they don't want to sort of reveal that hand yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or maybe it's, you know, Liberty City Revisited or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And they don't want to sort of give their hand away as far as that is concerned, because there's a lot of speculation as well as where is it going to take place, what's it going to be about, you know, so perhaps there is clues in the name that they don't want to drop either. So it's also a possibility that it's not 6 and it's something completely different, like Grand Theft Auto, you know, Battle Royale. Yeah. Yeah. Or it's something that is like Grand Theft Auto Vice City Nights, and they don't want to sort of show their hand yet as far as where it is. So it's kind of, I think it could go either way, but I'm excited for it. I
had a question for you.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, what would you like it to be? Would you like it to be like what format, or what are you looking for them to like either improve, or, you know, like in the next series?
Perfect world for me. Like, I'm a fan of the Saints Row series, and one of the things I loved about Saints Row, and one of the things I love about Grand Theft Auto Online, is you're basically creating a character. Right, so I would love an option to customize. Like, it's fine if you want to have a character called a certain thing, you know, a character, certain backstory, whatever, but sort of customize their appearance, if you will. Kind of a throwback to San Andreas, where, like, if you didn't exercise, your character, Carl Johnson, gained weight, and if you worked out, he got muscular. Sort of similar to that, but you get to create a look for yourself, kind of like Red Dead Online, because the Red Dead Online character creator is very in-depth.
Yeah. Yeah, that one did a really good job on creating how you want your character to look.
Exactly.
You know?
So
you're right, yeah.
I would like that with a story, like, you know, implemented in the Grand Theft Auto story. As far as like where it would take place, yeah, I could see the argument for Vice City, but I'm a New Yorker, man. I want Liberty City. Let's get Liberty City needs a. I feel annoyed that Grand Theft Auto 4 doesn't get the love it deserves, because Grand Theft Auto 4 was better than people say. I'm sorry.
I think so too. No, you're right. I will
die on that hill. Like, you know, at me if you want. And I don't think it gets the love it deserves. And I would love to see, like, Liberty City done in the style that Los Santos has done. You know.
Okay. I see.
And so, of course, I want Liberty City. I mean, but I throw the question back at you. What would you want? What would be the BB version of an ideal Grand Theft Auto game?
Oh my gosh. If it was the BB version, y'all, like, we have jetpacks everywhere, okay? We have...
It's chaos and pandemonium.
Chaos just waiting to happen. I mean, come on. Like, we play GTA now and it's chaos, so...
That's very true.
But honestly, I would like them to create something completely new. Like, I know that they all have... Like, your idea is actually a really good one. Like, if they are going to go back to the older cities, or explore one of the older cities that they created, right? I would probably want Liberty City, right? I liked I did enjoy GTA 4 a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm always that one person where it's like, I want them to like show us something new, maybe something bigger, right? You know, like the way that like the technology is changing for like all these games, you know, they're able to support a lot better software and stuff. So it's like, you know, whatever game engine they use, whether it's the same that they're using now, or if they're maybe developing something, who knows, if they can make something completely new, different, I'm for that. And also with the success of GTA Online, I think that they should just make the new version of that.
Yeah.
Where they, like you said, the customization is probably one of the biggest things in GTA, where, you can go buy all the clothes that you want and everything, right? But, like, if they somehow can make that more in-depth, like Red Dead, but even go further than that, I think they would have, like, I mean, they have the fan base here already, right?
Yeah.
They have the base. But to improve it, to gain new fans maybe, that would be probably my biggest thing, is the online aspect, because you know, being able to like, you know, play with your friends and everything, that's probably like the biggest thing, right? Where you go and you do the heists and everything, and probably do like have a little bit more variety in the heist.
Yeah,
maybe something I mean, I know GTA has a lot of variety, but probably just have something where it's maybe just. I know you mentioned Saints Row, something like that, where it's just something you don't really expect, but
Yeah.
staying true to like the GTA series.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I would probably enjoy that for sure.
I think the issue with Saints Row is like Saints Row went too far into the crazy, in my opinion. My favorite Saints
Which
Row
is
is
why that's why they're remaking it
yeah,
technically, right?
yeah.
So,
I'm again fingers crossed with that. But like for me, Saints Row 2 was the best. Like
oh,
2 was
Saints Row
my
2
favorite.
was so good, man. It
Saints
was
Row 2
so
hits
good.
so different. Like
Because like even though it was crazy about that one, you still had like so much fun in that one, dude.
yeah, there was a lot of crazy in Saints Row 2. Like people don't I think it's understated because it was like a semi-serious storyline. But there was a lot of crazy. Like you had like a whole group of voodoo, like a gang that was relying on voodoo, and
Yeah.
it was like a whole completely just whacked out series. But it got too crazy. But I think just to touch upon two things. I was thinking about like when you were talking about technology, because like I was thinking about like creating a larger open world, but you got to be careful with creating an open world that's empty. And
Well, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
I think Red Dead Redemption 2, and Red Dead Online as an extension did it perfectly. Because that map is huge. It is unfathomably big. Like, literally, somebody was timing the collection thing, and the collection part is literally just walking across the map, stopping at places across the map. That'll take you about 10 hours. So,
Oh, wow.
obviously, going from point A to point B across the map won't take you 10 hours, but it'll take you a good 15, 20 minutes to go
Yeah.
from point A
You're
to
right.
point B. Like, even, just whatever. So, but it's a large map, but it feels full. It doesn't feel empty. Town to town feels full, and even out on the plains, there's plenty of wildlife running around and
Yeah.
animals, and
You're right. You're right.
so I think it's possible to be done. I think perhaps an idea of like sort of Red Dead, where you have a few states put together, because Red Dead has Lemoyne, West Elizabeth,
Yeah.
Ambrino, and New Austin as the states together. So I think if you put an idea similar to that, where there's states with, and there's several towns within, say, Lemoyne, because Lemoyne has Saint Denis and Rhodes and Van
Yeah.
Horn and Annesburg. So like, there is ways to do it. So I think that's one thing. Two, I was gonna say about the online. I think there should come a point in which in the story they release an expansion to where you have to do something that takes you out of Los Santos and takes you to the new city, and you only escape with like $1 million or $2 million. So you get some seed money into the next Grand Theft Auto Online, but you don't get everything. You sort of lose 90% of what you have,
That's a
you
really good
know,
idea.
and your character is, because there is a way, like there was a time in which you could transfer a character from one platform to another through the Rockstar thing. So you're
Yeah.
transferring your character from 5, it transfers over to 6 with a little story element to it. Like, you got to get out of town really quickly, whatever. And whatever progress you make level wise and everything in 6 doesn't retroactively carry over. So, like, if you were to play 5 again, you're still sort of frozen in time right before you took that expansion.
I
And,
see.
it continues
Yeah.
on in 6. So that would be something I think is a feasible bridge in the online, I think would be a fun way to look at it.
No, that definitely would be a really cool addition to it.
Hire me,
I mean,
Rockstar. I'm available.
Hey, yo, come get Jay, all right? Come get Jay. He got the ideas.
I can help you. Help me help you.
Yeah.
But speaking of games and sort of things, there's a game that you and I both really enjoy that just had a sequel, and sort of we were talking about it, and that's sort of the next thing we want to sort of cover, the sort of transition away from the Grand Theft Auto stuff. So,
Yes.
yeah, take it away.
We will be talking about none other than it released today. The thing is, when this is posted, it'd be what, yesterday, pretty much.
Yeah,
But this
so-
weekend, if you like to get on a new game, Dying Light 2 just released. Now Dying Light 2 has been, I think it was pushed back of quite a few times, right? I think they had
Yeah.
they had like the development issues, and then they were like sort of went like quiet for a while where they didn't really say much, and then recently, a few months ago, or you could even say last year, they were starting to like show more. And I believe the last time it got delayed was last year, and it got pushed to February. And I played the first one. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I mean, the thing is, like, Dying Light had so many updates. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You had so many, like, free updates. And just to name a few, dude, they literally updated the game probably a few months before Dying Light 2 released.
It got an update this week.
Oh, there you go. You see,
Yeah.
so like they're constantly updating that game, and I know it has a huge fan base. I loved, enjoyed the first one. I love the DLC they added to it as well. It's one of those just games, especially if you can play with someone.
Yeah.
You just get lost in there and just, I mean, who doesn't like, you know, slashing zombies, right? And causing chaos, right?
And
That's
parkour.
like, and parkour, exactly, the biggest thing in it.
Yeah.
Parkour. Now with its release, it has had a few mixed reviews, which, you know, you can't really judge the game yet. It's brand new, and like it's kind of hard to judge them in the beginning because, like, you know, everybody has like their own set of like what they think is enjoyable, right? But we have something from IGN where they gave the total score to Dying Light 2 7 out of 10, where there was a few parts where they were just saying where it's pretty much just more Dying Light. But in my opinion, I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, the reason you follow something is because you want more of that, right?
Yeah.
Or if you like something. But I think their biggest thing on that was probably because of the bugs that they ran into. There's a lot of like stuff in here where it says, there was a quote from here where they had said the bug alert, where they said they didn't recommend jumping into Dying Light 2 on day 1 or day 10, maybe day 30, which says a lot, if that's how bad the bugs are. And the bugs seem to be more technical versus like gameplay wise. It's
Right.
like the crashing, you know, like the game not loading or sound going out. Those type of technical bugs, which I can see that why they kind of can like take you away from the experience, right?
Right.
Because I mean, especially if you're into something and you're like you want to keep going and then something just automatically takes you out of it,
Yeah.
you lose that touch where you're like, oh, again, right? Especially if it's repeatedly. So I totally understand that, but they are, and there's a few reviews out there from different sources saying the same thing, where it's kind of like, you know, it's the bugs that take them out of the immersion. But there's a lot of people also who say they haven't received any bugs.
Right.
So this is kind of like, it's kind of like, it reminds me a little bit of like Cyberpunk, right? When that came out,
Yeah.
a lot of people said they didn't face any bugs at all.
I was one of them.
Throughout their whole through their whole playthrough. But like someone like me, I faced bugs probably every few hours or so, right? And
yeah.
it did take me out of the immersion. Now, it wasn't necessarily like the game crashing or anything like that, which I can see why people get mad at that, because they're just like, you want to keep going and it just stops.
Yeah.
But for me, it was more like the glitches. It was a lot more glitches, characters not sitting right, or maybe they would like talk to you and they'd have like they were supposed to be eating food and their hand was like up here and you know the bowl was like floating around, you know. So like when you're trying to be super serious, exactly, yeah, when you're trying to be like super serious and immerse yourself in the role, you're just kind of like what is this?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other sources that say it's really good, it's flawless, it's you know, like IGN was saying, like it's just more Dying Light. And I mean, who wouldn't want to just jump back into that world and have more of it, right?
Yeah.
They also had I believe it's Techland, the developers. They had released also a DLC, well, not DLC, but like a roadmap to what to expect. And I mean, they're pretty much bringing everything to the table and saying, hey, look, this is what we're gonna do for the game for the next, I believe they said about 5 years. And I believe them. I mean, like you said, just this week there's an update to Dying Light, you know, like it's crazy. So I think the game is in good hands, but you know, we'll have to check it out and see for ourselves. But
Yeah.
the review is from not a patch, not a day one patch, right? So this could all be fixed today,
Yeah.
as the game is released.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see, like what they say throughout, or what gamers say, right? Anyone who's playing it throughout the weekend, maybe or so.
It's also a review from IGN who gives like Call of Duty 10 out of 10. So take it with a grain of salt. Like,
Exactly, exactly. Yeah,
take it with a grain of salt. So to me, look, Dying Light 1 was, I had a lot of fun with it with friends. I
hmm
couldn't finish it on my own. It just, like the story was good, but I didn't like the main character too much sometimes. Like he
yeah,
made a lot of stupid choices. I felt like a lot of that game didn't have to happen the way it did were it not for
yeah.
some simple choices that he made. But so like when Dying Light 2 came out, I was really excited for it with my friends that we played it back in like 2017, I think, maybe 2016. We got lost in it in the PS4. So I've been excited for this game for 6 years.
Yeah.
And so I was cautiously optimistic because I remember the first bit of previews that were telling you the things that you can do and all of these things, that features that were going to be there and choices and all of that. And I have a feeling that a lot of those features are not in the game because it's been delayed. So I'm kind of a
I
little
can see that.
weary of that, but I am excited. I will play it. I will get it. I think I'll end up playing it towards the end of the month. Not because IGN warned me, just because I have a lot more on my plate at the moment
Yeah,
with things that are going on. So I'm more concerned about doing that, and I'll get it when it's more financially makes sense for me.
yeah.
But I'm excited for it. And Dying Light 1 with friends was a really fun experience. So if you get more of that, that's a good thing in my opinion.
And exactly, that's what I was
So
saying. If you get more of it, that's already like enough for me, you know?
yeah. So I don't think it's one of those things that I think is this just a view into how IGN reviews things. Like,
hmm
they're setting a standard, like, oh, more Dying Light. Yeah. And it's like, that's not a bad thing. Like, I understand somewhat where they're coming from in the sense of you want freshness, but at the same time, if it's not broke, don't fix it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I mean, if you're going to give Call of Duty a 10, when it's released the same game every year for the past like 20 years,
Yeah.
and it's just been, all they've done is change like a skin here or there, and it's not World War II, it's World War II and a half, or let's just create a world war. It's
Yeah,
like,
right? Yeah, let's create our
so
own World War
yeah.
story.
So I'm just like, if that's getting a 10, then I'm sorry. I'm taking this with a huge grain of salt. So
Yeah,
that's
sure.
where I take IGN sort of reviews.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah, I'm like what I was seeing from that. It was like there was a lot of people who were saying the same thing. Like a lot of people who were saying like the bug issue, right?
No.
Um, but I think at this time, like around this time, like the technology changes. Everything's all like we were talking about the technology changing earlier, and it's like I think that's just kind of like bound to happen, no? Right? Like for it to be like super polished where there's like no bugs at all. I don't know. I mean, I think with that like caliber of a game, I feel like that stuff is just kind of like bound to happen eventually. But as long as they can fix everything and it's not something that just breaks it entirely, I mean, I don't see it as too bad.
I'm of two minds of that, and there's a little bit of a segment that we're gonna do towards the end about, like I said, gaming culture writ large, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
touch on that, and that I have a thought that just I'll percolate, but sort of just to button up the Dying Light thing and everything. I'm excited for it. I think
yes,
I think it's the first, if I'm not mistaken, the first major release of a game this year, because I don't think anything
hmm
really happened in January. Maybe I'm wrong.
yeah.
A Pokemon, one of the Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon was probably like the biggest
Yeah,
release of
yeah,
January. Yeah,
yeah,
towards the end. Yeah.
yeah. So that was probably the first big release, and Dying Light was the second, I would say. And I think Dying Light 2 is really good from what I've seen of the trailer. I have avoided all media of it because I want to
Yeah.
go in blind.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into it, and in future episodes I'll probably give a review of it because I think that's one of the things we're
Yeah.
going to touch on, and we're going to do games that we play, and I look forward to the SnowRunner review from you, personally speaking, at some
Okay.
episode. So,
Yeah, 2027 or
yeah.
somewhere around there.
Oh, but just
So,
talking about games and stuff. I read through the list of games that are coming out in the month of February. As this is the beginning of February, we're doing the first episode at the start of February. We're going to sort of run through some of the things that are coming out this month that are in games. Dying Light 2, which releases February 4th, which is yesterday as of this release, today as of the recording. If you could follow that, congratulations. Crossfire X on Xbox, which is February
Crossfire
10th.
X.
I have no idea what that is.
Crossfire was like it was kind of like a old school, kind of like CS:GO type game, where it was, like the 5-on-5 kind of thing. So this is sort of like I believe it's going to be like an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like just for Xbox or if like it's limited time, because sometimes they do that, like a yearly deal.
Yeah.
But it will be on Game Pass, they were saying, and it's sort of like they have gone to that classic Crossfire game and just modernized it, right? Like it used to be just a multiplayer game, and now it's sort of had its own, like, I guess you could say, I was looking into it, and it's pretty much like the closest thing you could say is like a Call of Duty, type of storyline that they have, right? Where everything is,
massive
like impossible,
explosions.
but also exactly, it's like a Michael Bay movie.
I was
like
just thinking that, Michael Bay
everything's
movie.
like just like blowing up for no reason, but you somehow never die, right? Like, so that's what Crossfire X is. I might look into it. I mean, if it's on Game Pass, I have Game Pass, so I might look into it and see how it goes.
Interesting.
But I think it was in development for some time. Like, they were kind of quiet about it, so I'm surprised that they finally like came out with a release date and everything. Yeah, and it's not too far. February 10th. That's pretty.
February 10th.
That's
close. This next week. I think is what, next Friday.
Yeah.
Next Thursday.
I believe it's on Thursday.
So Thursday, this upcoming Thursday. As of this recording, if you're watching this video like 2 months from now, it's out already. This is February. Just letting you know. For those who sort of zoned out and zoned back in at that point. We also have Lost Ark for PC coming out. Early access is February 8th. The full release is February 11th. We have a mutual friend who is a streamer, Mint Drop. I believe this is, and as well as Redbeard Flynn, I think, had mentioned the game as well. Although I don't think he was as excited. I know Mint Drop is really excited for it. She said that she had played on like Russian servers way back in the day, and now it's coming to like,
because I think they were newly acquired by Amazon Games, I believe. And so like now it's coming, to this market. The U.S. market or the North American market. I played a little bit of it. I will tell you, I don't know, maybe because I'm not too into like MMOs, right? But it's kind of like an MMO, like top down. Well, not top down, but like ARPG kind of, right?
Isometric.
So it looks great, like the way it looks and everything, the character customization, it looks great. But gameplay wise, I'm not. Maybe because I just didn't know about it and I'm just kind of new to it. But the beta was okay for me. But it does, like you said, it does release pretty soon. I think to get the early access, you have to buy like a founder's package, which gives you like some goodies and stuff, and then early access.
Yeah, like a Star Citizen thing.
God.
And February 17th, we have the Assassin's Creed Ezio collection for the Switch.
Ezio. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Ezio.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. It's not spelled correctly. Then there's no T in there. If you want it Ezio, put a T in there. Otherwise, it's Ezio.
Ezio. Okay. You know what? That's what we'll go with. Yeah. Yes. Assassin's Creed Ezio collection comes out February 17th. You're right. And I'm a huge fan of that series. Assassin's Creed 2 was the first game I played. That was when Ezio was introduced to the series. That whole trilogy, I'd probably say 2 is better than the other 2 games, but I got lost in that game, man. It was so good. It's an Ubisoft game, in the Assassin's Creed franchise. Wow. So it's kind of cool that they're bringing that to the Switch now. So if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed or have never tried Assassin's Creed, I definitely recommend that trilogy. Really, really good. Some cool game mechanics, good storyline. Back when games were made in a really great and great storytelling. Like, oh my gosh, I could tell you some games nowadays. Like, whew.
We're getting into that. Don't you worry.
But I'm actually excited for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
To see them bring that to the Switch now.
definitely. If you're into the Assassin's Creed, get the Easy E collection. You know.
Oh, God. Yeah, the Ezio.
Yeah.
Ezio collection. You're right.
Get that Easy E merch. So the following day, February 18th, is Horizon Forbidden West, and that on this list it says PS5. So I'm assuming it's not coming out for PS4.
I was looking at it, and it looks like it's a PS5 exclusive. So it's like next gen only.
That's interesting.
And I know Sony was very, very like pretty heavy on that, where they were saying that their newest like IPs that they're working on, or like the new games, right? They're supposed to be next gen exclusive, like to it, as it like not like Xbox, where they're kind of like going the route of like, if someone still has an old gen, we'll kind of ride the wave with us eventually till we shift to just next gen. Which I kind of like that strategy a little bit more, because you can't even get it, you know, I mean, you can't even get an Xbox One X, right, or Series X, and you can't even get a PS5. So like that strategy is pretty good.
Yeah.
So whoever has a PS5, you know, congrats, you're getting, you know, Horizon Forbidden West, which if you haven't played the first one, it's available on PC if you don't have a you know, a PS5. But great game. I'm actually really excited for it, except that I can't play it because I don't have a PS5, but maybe one day, right?
I have a Series 1S just because I'm into sports games. Like, yes, I am one of the sports games players. Come at me. I'm here. We will drop the show's email in the description.
Oh my God.
Come at me. Okay, yes, I am one of those people that buy Madden and I buy NBA 2K, and I will say it proudly. Okay, maybe not proudly, but I'll say it. But anyway, point that I'm saying, I got the Series 1S because I wanted to play the updated next gen version of 2K, and I'll be honest with you, the features are really cool, and so. That was my entry into the next gen, because I was not spending the money on a PS5 that it costs, because it's ridiculous. I'm sorry, I'm not spending that much money, and I'm not willing to sell my kidney for it. You know, like I'm not willing to smash an 86-year-old woman in the face for a PS5 in a scrum in a supermarket at 2:00 in the morning. That's just, you know, that's like the lengths you have to go to. I'm not gonna become Liam Neeson.
I mean, you're right.
And go all Taken for a PS5. Like, it's just not happening for me.
Yeah, you're not gonna go like, I will find you.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna just like become Jason Statham and just be the transporter, because that's what you like leaving the store. That's what it's like, you know. I'm sure you got the PS4 in the back and you just like looking around and you just no, that's not me. So I got a Series 1S, and I'm sorry. I understand, like, again, I understand probably where these companies are coming from, because if you remember the PS3, PS4 bridge, you know, that generation gap, there were some games that came out for both that were really screwed up because they came out for both. Yeah, so I get it. I understand where companies are coming from when they're just like exclusive next gen. But at the same time, I worry that Forbidden West is going to suffer financially for it. And you're going to get some... You're going to get some executive that has no idea what games are and go, this is why you can't have a woman as a female, as a character. And it's going to set off this kind of issue. And I hate that, because this game looks really good. And I know the fan base for this game is really excited. But it's like, if you don't have access to this game, the sales might be hindered. So I just hope that whatever executives or bigwigs, whatever, take that into consideration when they look over whatever sales numbers this game does, and I hope it does well.
I hope it does well too. Yeah, you're right, because it's the first one. Like I said, the complete edition is so good. DLC was great. So I'm excited for the. I mean, this one was announced a while back too, and so for it to finally have a release date, and it's literally, you know, in a few weeks. I'm, like I said, if you have a PS5, I hope you get a chance to play it and experience the new stuff.
I know of at least one person, possibly two, that can play it and stream it, and if there's a large enough interest, we can put out the links and stuff like that for those streamers who are going to stream it, because it's worth watching at least. I never played the first one, but I saw enough of it and I enjoy watching people play it. It's one of those games that I kind of like watching rather than actually playing. So
I get you.
So then you have 4 days later, Destiny 2: The Witch Queen, and now I've played 10 minutes of Destiny 1 and wanted to gouge my own eyeballs out. So Destiny is not one of the games that's in my good graces. Destiny and its sequel, Destiny 2. I never played Destiny 2, full disclosure. Yeah. Like I said, I played 3 hours of Destiny 1 and wanted to beat myself with a piece of heavy mining equipment in the moonlight.
Bad.
It was that bad. It was just look, I've done college, okay? I don't need a game to give me research materials that I need to do on my own time. Give me the story. Tell me what's going on. Don't tell me to go to some external website and now I have to parse through like 50 pages of you telling a story that makes no sense. Like, give me the story, tell me what's going on, and I'll play your game. Okay? Okay, good. So yeah,
look, I'll say this. And like you said, come at me if you want to, but I was actually one of the few people who actually pre-ordered Destiny 1. Went to the midnight release, okay? Back when midnight releases were a thing, right?
Oh God, a relic of our younger days,
right? Like, oh man, those were actually some pretty good times, right? Mm-hmm. And I had mixed feelings of it. Gave Destiny 2 a try, a lot better. But it's kind of suffers from the whole like, if you miss out on it, then you're too behind everyone. So you always got to catch up. I think a lot of people label it as an MMO, which I don't necessarily think it is, but I mean, I guess it is if you're constantly getting loot and constantly have to like grind for the items and everything. I guess it kind of becomes one. It's more of a looter shooter in my opinion, but
same.
A lot of people label it as like an MMO, right? I guess because of the community's so huge, right? So, but this is like a new DLC that was pushed back as well. A lot of people, I know the Destiny community is like super hyped for it. I know a few people who are like super hyped for it. Just for me, I kind of like lost it at that point. This is why I don't really necessarily play MMOs too much, because once you get to a certain level, you had a story like that happened to you once. I remember you were telling me about Star Wars. Star Wars, the what was it? The Old Republic, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's because you get to a certain point, and then if your friends stop playing or someone stops playing, and then you stop, then you try to go back to it, but everybody's already too high level to play with you, or they're already doing some other missions, and then you're just kind of like, well, I'm just gonna go back to Minecraft because like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So that's just my take on it. But I know a lot of people are like really, really hyped for Destiny 2, the Witch Queen DLC.
Well, I hope for them it's good. I wanted to disembowel myself with a wooden cooking spoon after playing a few minutes of Destiny 1, so I couldn't do it. But I hope everybody who is really excited for it, I hope it's good for them. The big name on this list besides Horizon Forbidden West that I see is the Elden Ring. Yes. That's February 25th, and that's Xbox, PlayStation, PC. I think that's going to be... I think that's going to anchor the month. That's the end of the month, February 25th. I'm not a Soulsborne player, but we follow a lot of streamers who are.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see it. And I don't know. It's one of those games that I'm kind of like cool, not interested in it, but I'm cool. So
no, yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah, that's the release date's on February. Hopefully, at least some of these games are good. I
think for this month alone, we have some pretty good release dates. Like you said, Horizon. I would say Horizon and Elden Ring were probably the biggest ones. I know Dying Light 2, a lot of people were waiting for that as well. Elden Ring was... Well, I mean, all of these games had pushbacks. Like, they were pushed back for some time. For development and, and the pandemic and everything. So, it's great to see that February has a lot of choices for you to pick. Whether it's, Switch or you if you're lucky to have a PS5. But I know Elden Ring, like you said, Souls-like game. I know a lot of people who are very, very interested in that game. I'm not like I've played a little bit of Dark Souls 3.
I was there.
And you know how that went. I still blame the game. You know what? Legend says I'm still looking for the bonfire. Okay, that's what they say.
If you all could put, as a comment, just what a bonfire is, maybe to help our lost BB here find the bonfire. I have never yelled at a screen more than watching you run past the same bonfire 7 times and just go, there is no bonfire here. Where is the bonfire? And you're like, I was literally that Pauly D meme where I'm like, it's right there. And just I couldn't take it anymore. I was,
Oh my gosh.
I love you to death, but I never once wanted to reach to a screen more than that day and just take the control from you and just walk to the bonfire and just be like, here.
Look, after that day, I knew to not, to not, or no, I learned to trust you, okay? Because I was so certain that there was no bonfire there, okay? How I didn't see it, I don't know. But then again, I don't know many things, so, you know.
That is also true. Do you perhaps
But yeah,
need prescription
I'm
glasses?
excited for that. I'm excited for this month for all the games that are coming out, that are finally coming out actually, because I know they've been delayed for quite some time. So
Yeah.
it's really good to see that. One thing we could talk about though, real quick, going back to the Destiny 2,
Yeah.
the Witch Queen. Another big story that had a lot of people was shook a little bit was Sony buying Bungie. Actually,
Yeah.
that was huge. Here it says Sony Interactive announced a deal to acquire Bungie for $3.6 billion.
With a B.
Yes. The big franchise, a company right now for developing, Destiny and obviously the OG Halo.
Mm-hmm.
That's good for Sony. That's what I can say.
It's really good.
Like,
yeah, and you talk about coming on the heels of the Microsoft purchase of Activision, Blizzard Activision. Microsoft purchasing Blizzard Activision for something like 68 point something billion dollars, so close to 69. I mean, come on, you guys missed an opportunity.
We might as well just say it was 69.
Very nice. But so I think it's kind of setting up an arms race now, right? And I forget who it was that said it. We were talking about it again. This is kind of where the impetus for this show came, because we were talking about the acquisitions in a call once, and I think somebody had said that it seemed to them that the acquisition of Bungie was less about Destiny and more about the brain power, the brain trust that they were getting from the people who worked there.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it was you that said it or
I don't remember who was saying that.
Somebody
but I know I understand completely what you're saying, because they were saying that a huge portion of that deal was going towards the devs themselves to not leave Bungie. Yeah. Right. Which it kind of, like you said, it pretty much kind of like goes with that, where it's like, no, we want the people who are creating these worlds. And Bungie had made the post saying that they are excited to work now with Sony, and they because they were technically they used to be with Activision.
Yeah.
Then Activision, they became an independent now, Bungie itself. So now having Sony now with they're a studio now with Sony, that gives you a huge amount of possibilities for either, whether it's Destiny 2 or whatever they make, right? To have that kind of like power, right? To bring these cool new worlds to life. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Bungie to see what they can bring.
Are you ready for me to put my tinfoil hat on? It's time for me to put my tinfoil hat. Let's go into the wider world of Jay's conspiratorial thinking. Okay, so Microsoft acquires Blizzard Activision. What comes with that? Potentially Call of Duty exclusivity. Now, they're saying what they have to say at first. No, we're not going to do all that.
No. We got still contracts. We're going to respect that. We love working with everybody.
Hey, I'm pissing on your leg, but it's raining. No. So I think that's a potential, right? If you're Sony, you're thinking, well, shit, I can't lose out on that. What can I do? Let me hire the guys, the people, rather, that created one of the first really successful FPS games.
Yeah.
So that way we have the ability to spin off our own franchise. It's a Call of Duty light.
Could you imagine that? Another Halo, but that's not Halo, but it's just like massively like
World War II Halo.
Not even different. Yeah, like it's gonna be like some crazy like modern day Halo.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like
I that's what I'm saying. Like it's just Master Chief, but like with like a weird British accent because it's World War II.
Yeah.
Cortana, we've got to save the Queen. Yeah. Like a spot of tea, Cortana. In it, bruv. Yeah. Like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that kind of.
Oh my gosh. No, but you're right though. Like I didn't necessarily think about it like that, but you're right. You know, like them making that, like that's also a power move. Like
Yeah.
like we're talking about like, yeah, like I know Microsoft, like they bought like all these like huge well, mostly which like, you know, Activision, and you know they got Blizzard with it, and then all the little companies, right, the other companies that were inside in them, and but like it is a power move from Sony. You're right. If you think about it like that, it's kind of like, well, let's get the devs who started it, you know, at Microsoft, but now they're with us. And you know, going back to what you were saying, where you know everyone just kind of says what they need to say first and everything. That's kind of what they said. Sony said. Yeah. You know, Sony had said that no, this was not a call to action for the you know, the Microsoft purchase. Yeah. Right. This is mostly just no. We've been talking about this for a few months or for years or whatever. Because technically Bungie did have, or Destiny did have exclusivity with PlayStation. Yeah. Where like certain like I think it was like certain DLCs, or maybe it was like time limited, right? So it would be like PlayStation exclusive, or I think it was actually just exclusivity for certain things like missions or armor or something like that, right? Yeah. With it, so it does fall into that, but they did say that they're still planning to make more moves. So we'll see what Sony does from here on out.
I'm really excited. Now, look, let me preface it by saying I don't think that they read the newspaper on a Monday. Microsoft buys Activision Blizzard, and they're like, "Well, shit, we got to do something." Jerry, get legal on the phone. Let's buy something. Well, what do you want to buy, Bob? Fuck it, I don't know. Bungie. Like, and then by Friday there's a deal. Like, I don't think that's how it worked. I think they, you know, these corporations, there's things that are heard through the grapevine before we ever hear of it. So I would imagine that some time ago they probably got wind that Microsoft was sniffing around Blizzard, Activision, and they said, well, let's not get into a bidding war. Let's see what we can sniff around, and they found Bungie. And it was kind of the timings lined up because I think they sort of got wind that Microsoft was doing something, and then they decided, let's pull the trigger on something we've been sort of thinking about.
But you know, I think it was also kind of like, let's see who goes first. Yeah. Like I think that's how those big companies work, you know, sometimes, where they're just kind of like, well, we don't want to move on this because then what are they gonna, like, what is their move, right? Yeah. And I feel like, you know, over here with Microsoft, they were out here with the Infinity Gauntlet, just collecting all the stones out here, and just like, you know, they literally was like, fine, I'll do it myself, right? Yeah. And just like did the purchase, right? So like, so yeah, you're right though. Yeah, of course we hear about all this like last, right? There has to be like them knowing some type of source out there that says, hey, this might happen, you know, so let's work on our own thing first too.
Yeah. So I think that's definitely it. I'm excited to see what happens. I think so. Here's the honest truth. What I think, as long as the people stay away from sort of ridiculous exclusivity, because I think honestly it's just exclusivity for consoles is ridiculous. Like stop cutting your own profit market in half. Like, you know, open up your own profit market to as many people as you can. So I think that's a little silly. Like, I get the idea you want people to buy your console, but it's easier for someone to buy a $70 game than a $600 console. So it should, you know, the principle of the matter should just be, I'll take the overall, you know, hit on the console, but I'll get more overall numbers by selling the game. So I think competition, if this is the arms race, so to speak, acquisition and who can create the better game and all of that, I think that's going to be good for us as gamers. I think where it gets dangerous is you're going to have a lot of potential fights over exclusivity, and I think it's gonna hurt a lot of gamers writ large.
Yeah.
So
You're right. You're right. It does. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
If you would say, because it's mostly like, oh, we are gonna get some bomb games, right? We're gonna
Yeah.
get some really good games. I can't wait for the next 5 years of gaming, right?
Yeah.
But then you drop down and you're kind of more realistic, and you say, okay, we might get will we get a ton of games? Yes, but then what comes with the whole exclusivity thing? Well,
Yeah.
you gotta have only a PS5 or whatever system for this, or you can't play this level for like a few years or something like that. Yeah, exactly. So you're right. In a perfect world, it would be just amazing if they all came together and just said, you know what? We're all gonna release on whatever, come to terms with it, and whatnot. Everybody just release their own thing or whatever. But you're right. If they start to do the whole like exclusive for this, exclusive for that. I mean, it was already heard with Xbox was starting to do that. I mean, like Starfield was a project that was in works for a while, right?
Yeah.
And it's now become a Xbox exclusive. I haven't heard if they confirmed if Elder Scrolls 6 is, but it seems like they are going for that exclusivity. But that's also another thing, right? Isn't it like that's kind of like so many people love Elder Scrolls in different platforms, so it's like it's kind of hard to say if they will, but I don't know. I haven't really looked into it.
I think you're cutting your potential profit margin in half. I mean, I think cutting off, imagine half the people losing the ability to play Skyrim or the next Elder Scrolls. It's ridiculous in my opinion.
Yeah.
But sort of just echoing into the next sort of thing, because we are running a bit long, because we've been here for almost an hour, I think.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't feel like it, but just sort of wrapping things up. We were talking about games releasing, and we talk about Dying Light 2 and the potential of the bugs and everything, and we touched on Cyberpunk. And as we move into the new era of gaming with technology and everything, I mean, obviously the era of patching and DLC and all of that has been around for well over 10 years. I'd say maybe 13, close to 14 years now. Games, the culture of gaming, where we're going to release a broken game and fix it. I think that it hurts games. It's hurting gaming because gaming has gone...
Excuse me, sorry.
Yeah. Can somebody buy EA?
Right? Can somebody buy EA just to make them
make them not be just the absolute worst. And the sad part is EA owns two of my favorite franchises in Mass Effect and Dragon Age, so I'm forced to walk this earth in pain. But it's just this idea of like gaming went corporate in like the mid 2000s, right? Mm-hmm. Gaming became this corporate entity, and yes, somebody's gonna be like, well, it's always been run by corporations. Yes, I get it, but it's been this sort of niche, nerdy thing in a corporation's portfolio. They didn't give two shits about it, really. But these corporations sort of became bigger, and now we need to meet quarterly profits. So I don't care what state this game is in, push it out the door. We'll fix it. And I think it's become commonplace. It's become accepted. It's become the culture of gaming, and it bothers me very much that that's the culture of gaming, because I think games need to be released not broken. Like I'm sorry, push a game back a few months. Like everybody wants to meet a quarterly profit. That's the thing with these companies. They're all answering to shareholders. It needs to meet a corporate profit, a quarterly profit, and all this other stuff. And I think the issue, I don't like that whole thing of, this character, he phases in and out sometimes, but just put it out there. We'll fix it in a patch. And then this game gets review bombed. Nobody likes it, and then they're like, well, this game, it didn't do so good, so we're not going to do any more of this series. Andromeda. Mass Effect Andromeda. And so it's just like, it pisses me off, because I think Mass Effect Andromeda could have been good. I think a lot of these games that released broken could have been really great. Cyberpunk. I had no issues with Cyberpunk. I really like Cyberpunk. I have a lot of fun with it. But I understand that my experience was more on the unique end of it. I know that a lot of people had very different experiences. Yeah. And that's the problem. The people,
you got like Battlefield 2042, where, it's like chaos, but it's not people making chaos. It's just the game,
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah. So
Oh goodness.
it's just horrible. So that's my rant on gaming culture writ large. I don't
No,
know if
you're
you
right.
want to
You're
tail
right.
into that and have.
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. It's just like that. You're right. Like it's just become like kind of like the norm where people just, or the games are pushed out that way.
Yeah.
So it's like in a way you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, it is what it is, but it shouldn't be, But
Yeah. So
hopefully there's some change in that environment.
yeah, hopefully. And as we're coming to the end of the first episode, we have a little thing that we want to do, and we spoke about this. I'm really excited. It's like I coined a phrase of it a little bit. It is the wider world of weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
So we each looked up a story. We have our production meeting on Wednesday, and we each looked up a story that is just weird as all hell. And we're going to share it with each other, and we're going to see if the other one knows it, and how, sort of, what the hell the other one feels about it. So since I ranted about gaming culture writ large, I'll let you go first.
Okay.
Tell me your wider world of weirdness story.
Oh my gosh.
For the first episode.
So this was posted February 1st, okay?
Okay.
So it looks like somewhere in Miami, Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Florida man strikes again. There was a grandfather and a grandson fishing, right? And they're just fishing, chilling, vibing, trying to see if they can, I don't know, catch whatever fish is in Florida. And
gator.
you would not believe what they found. They caught something, and they're over here super excited, reeling it in and everything, just to find out that it was 2 50 caliber rifles.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They pulled out so a 50 caliber Barrett sniper rifle with the fishing rod. They said it was somewhere around like 40 or so pounds. They had no idea what it was at first. They really thought it was a fish, that it was like super super heavy fish, and the grandfather was like going at it, and then the young boy actually finished reeling it in, and there you go. That's what they found.
That is quintessential America.
I would never expect for someone to find 50 caliber sniper rifles in the water.
Neither would I. Yeah, 50 cal sniper rifles. I'm wondering who ordered a hit that went wrong.
The right? Like
what Grand Theft Auto mission did that happen?
I could understand if some other type of weapon or whatever, but like 50 caliber, like that's some crazy stuff.
A 50 cal sniper rifle, you're ending someone's whole existence. Like
my God, yeah.
you're putting a crater through someone's chest with a 50 cal. So I don't know. That wasn't a subtlety thing.
Yeah.
That was like sending a statement. I wonder. My best guess is some sort of military, shipment.
Maybe military shipment, know, and it just, I mean, that's what you would hope that happened,
Yeah,
or some military accident, and like, they lost the weapons or whatever, but
or GTA is more real than we'd like to hope.
Yeah. Some
one of those two. So the weird story I found was really okay. I can't. I tried to track this down to sort of verify its integrity, and I can't 100% verify its integrity. Because it's so like what the hell that I think I'm being ribbed. Like I think someone's screwing with me. I really think someone's fucking with me reading this. So because I can't figure out how this is working. But I have the website, and I don't know it. I googled it because I saw it as a meme somewhere. And I googled it because it's like, is this real or is this a meme? And there's actually an article on it, and there's a YouTube video also posted about it. This comes off of a place called animesenpai.net. I have not looked into this site. I don't know how safe for work this is. Nothing I saw on the site was not safe for work when I was reading this, so it seemed like it was, but it's just very interesting site. But if you want to Google it, that's the site. If you're brave enough, go into incognito just in case. But this guy, I can't pronounce his first name, Akihiko. I believe it's Akihiko, Konda, Konda. He married, apparently, somehow he married a virtual character of some kind named Hatsune Miku.
Okay.
The age difference in this is very, like, yikes. But I don't. It's a virtual character. I don't know. But he was bullied by female coworkers, apparently, and he turned off. He stopped being interested in women, and he found a virtual character. He married this virtual character in November of 2018, and apparently it cost him 2 million yen, which is $17,500 in American money. I don't know how. I don't know how he did all of this. I don't know.
Wow.
But he posted an update that he took his quote-unquote wife to dinner. Exactly. And so he posted pictures of... It's a 2D character. I don't know how he did it. He posted pictures...
The future is now.
Yeah, it was... So I think it's augmented reality.
Oh my gosh. Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think he used augmented reality to have pictures of his wife at the table eating dinner with him. And the restaurant he called ahead.
You're in VR
yeah,
or whatever?
Yeah. So it was... You know how Pokemon Go works? Where it's so it's like, if you don't know what augmented reality is and you don't know what Pokemon Go is, it's you take your phone and it's a picture of your actual surroundings, but in it is superimposed a Pokemon. So I'm assuming that's what he did. But he took his wife to dinner. He had the chef cook for two. It was a whole thing, and he apparently, he posted pictures and all this. He did the whole works, because apparently in Japan, Christmas is also like a Valentine's Day kind of thing, romantic holiday. So that was what he did for Christmas, and I mean, again, I can't verify its integrity 100%, but this was one of those things that was so weird that I was like, you know what, it's anime, it's weird. Let's bring it to the show. And he was interviewed apparently on some Japanese YouTube show. There is a video. If you Google the story, it's just man takes waifu to dinner was what I Googled literally to get it. So if you're brave enough, you can put that in the Google machine. You can see it. There is a video on YouTube where they talk to him about it. He posted pictures. There's even a follow-up article on it and everything. And so it's I don't know. I don't know how much I would put stock in this. I think I'm being fucked with, to be honest with you. But
I mean, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I guess just things are just what you don't, what you think aren't true, whatever. They're unbelievable, hashtag Ripley's Believe It or Not, whatever.
Yeah. So hashtag pull 2 50 cal snipers out of the water.
Yeah. Hashtag 50 cal snipers in the water.
Yeah. So. But yeah, so that was the weird news that I had.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I like that though. That was cool.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. So, my friends, we're coming to the end of the first episode of the BB&J Show. Now, we had envisioned this to be 30 minutes. We envisioned 3 10-minute segments. We've gone way over that. Way over that. So I hope that in the future, but okay, yes, we went over it, but at the same time, that's the format, right? We're just having a conversation. And I hope that those of you who are watching, whether you're, watching us and doing something in the background or, listening along as you drive somewhere, don't text and drive, or doing something. I hope you got some fun out of it. I had an amazing time doing this. I hope you did too, BB, as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I look forward. Yeah, I look forward to the next episode. But I'm going to let BB say his closing words. I will say my closing words, and then we will just let you all be free, wonderful birds and beans in the night.
No, yeah, this was amazing. Can't wait for the next one. We'll try to see when we can, have a flow of the episodes releasing. But I did enjoy this. This was a cool experience. But yeah, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and you could catch me on twitch.tv/bbnski.
Definitely get those plugs in there.
Self-promo.
Yeah, get those
self-promo.
hashtag self-promo. Yeah, there you go. Get those plugs.
No, yeah, thank you, Jay. Thank you.
No, it's been a wonderful experience. I've always wanted to do something like this. I hope we get to do more. That's the plan. We want to do more. Of course, we are, we both have working lives, and we're doing our own things as well. So we have to, fit this into our schedules. And it's going to be a little bit of process going forward of how we are able to do that. We hope to be able to do it on a regular basis and gain some momentum. But stay tuned to BBansky's channel, my channel, as well as this channel. And we do have an email that we'll be posting in the description. We'll post BB's links, my links, and that way you can find us individually and all of that stuff. So for BB, I'm Jay. Thank you for watching the first episode of the BB&J Show. Our origin story has formed. I am somebody who would rather beat myself with heavy mining equipment than play Destiny. That is my origin story.
And I'm someone who went to the midnight release of Destiny 1.
There you go.
Yeah.
That says it best.
Yeah.
For BB, I'm Jay. We'll see you next time. Stay safe. Stay wonderful. We'll catch you on the next episode.